So a few days ago, popular UK clothes retailer John Lewis announced that it was basically going to be ditching having different boys and girls labels on kids' clothing. The store is going to be removing the signs for different boys and girls sections of the shop, and has also introduced a new children's clothing line featuring things such as dresses with dinosaurs on them, basically things that are just less distinctly gendered in either direction. This change in John Lewis's signage and labelling, along with the introduction of clothes that can be worn by either girls or boys, as though children's clothes couldn't already be worn by either girls or boys, has England divided, some being extremely critical of the move, whereas others, like myself, are either indifferent or actively praising it as a positive thing. So I took to Twitter and the comment section of many an article about this and found some of the public's opinions so I can read and respond to them for your viewing pleasure. Here we have a comment with 44 people in agreement saying, "Whoever sanctioned this needs to be removed from their job." I don't even know what to respond to that, frankly, so we're off to a good start. The only response I really have is, why? Clearly this person is frankly not alone in thinking that this is going to deter some customers. So, you know, if I suppose you genuinely see this as a move that is going to lose you business, then fair enough, you could make the argument that someone could get fired for it. But if you want to make the argument that someone should get fired for it because, I don't know, they're trying to corrupt the innocence of our children by letting girls wear dresses with dinosaurs on them, then this person clearly needs to get their priorities in order. Someone named Backfire has said the average John Lewis customer is going to be infuriated by this lefty PC gender denier crap. Great business decision, that. Yes. Us lefty PC gender deniers, you just can't get rid of us. This is the thing though, no one is trying to deny that your child has a gender. We're just trying to give them more choice in the ways they have of expressing themselves. Like, if anything, that's allowing more room for gender expression because, you know, God forbid a young boy is able to wear something with a flower on it and everyone think, oh no, this child has no gender. You know, it's not as though this is anything that could possibly actually do some good, or for that matter, be ever approved by anyone that's not on the left. This one, obviously it will be on the screen so you can see it, says, "I would imagine that the average John Lewis customer, if they have any sense, will not be a John Lewis customer for much longer." Again, just the implication that anyone that's okay with this has literally no sense confuses me. What insidious thing do they think is happening here that only the smart ones know to avoid at all costs? I genuinely don't understand. I don't know if she would have been involved in this decision or whether she's just now speaking out about it as the head of Childrenswear. But from the sounds of it, she was involved with it. She said, "We do not want to reinforce gender stereotypes within our collections and instead want to provide greater choice and variety to our customers so that the parent or child can choose what they would like to wear." The horror. Sharon, with a stiletto at the end of her Twitter handle, says, "This John Lewis thing is pure shite. My child is a boy and will be dressed as a boy. Rugby tops, polo shirts, jeans, trainers, etc." I mean, this kind of just makes me feel sad for her son. What if he doesn't like rugby tops? Does he get any say in this whatsoever? What child doesn't wear trainers? Trainers aren't just a boy thing. Like, jeans as well, very, very unisex even prior to this. Like, it is just honestly baffling to me how rigidly some people want to adhere to these outdated stereotypes that don't even make sense. My boy will be dressed as a boy. Like, if you had a girl and she liked rugby, would you forbid her from wearing rugby tops because those are apparently boy things? Like, that's another thing that frustrates me, just the double standard on all of this, because people do in general have a much more accepting attitude towards girls dressing masculinely than boys dressing femininely, which again is just a silly double standard. Holly on Twitter has just quote tweeted the Independence article about it and just said, "Trolls are missing the point with this. No one is saying your child is gender neutral. We're saying dinosaur prints are gender neutral." Yeah, basically, in a nutshell. Well done, Holly. That's actually the first of a little Twitter thread that this person, Holly, has made, and I think it's a very good thread. I think that Holly here is correct. I do think that a lot of the naysayers are genuinely missing the point, and the intention is not to turn your child into a genderless blob. It is just to provide them with more choice and less restrictions in their clothing. Ah yes, I got this from John Lewis's Facebook page. Richard says, "In view of your recent idea to introduce genderless clothing lines for children, should we assume that you will follow suit with adult clothing? Have unisex toilets, with urinals for use by any gender, of course, and mixed changing rooms? Or will your deranged PC department find some reason not to extend this radical thinking for fear of offending yet another minority? Here's to androgyny, eh? Heaven forbid that we should identify as male or female in this day and age. Apologies for any offence caused by my use of the term heaven for those who don't believe in it." Well, thank you, Richard, for your very considerate apology. As an atheist, I appreciate it. Many clothes already are marketed as unisex, so I don't know, where Richard's been living, but that is already a thing. Again, unisex toilets, already a thing. Like, most, if not all, disabled toilets are unisex, if I'm not mistaken. Like, this person seems to have just sort of angrily ranted onto John Lewis's Facebook in such a hurry that they've almost contradicted themselves, because, again, it's just so funny that the same people, it's hypocritical, because they'll take issue with people taking issue with the division of boys and girls clothing departments, and they'll say, "Oh, don't get so offended over everything." But then, they take away the signs for boys and girls clothing departments, and now they're the ones kicking up a fuss about that, and it's just, how is you having a massive problem and getting offended over this little thing, how is that any different from someone having an issue with it being the other way? Like, you're offended, Richard. This is a quote that I took from some article, just from some random person. It just says, "My son is a boy, and I want to go to the boys' department to look for his clothes. Why is that not okay? I think this change is ridiculous. I think this comment's ridiculous, because just I want to go to the boys' department to look for his clothes." I'm just imagining this person walking into the store and seeing that there is no boys' department and just having a crisis because, where will I look for my son's clothes? It's like they're acting like because there's no big sign up saying boys, there are suddenly no clothes that boys could wear. Do you really need everything blatantly signed and labelled for you to be comfortable doing it or buying it? Like, you poor person, if you really need that much direction in life, then good luck to you. It's a wonder you know how to cross pedestrian crossings when a little green man does not also have a sign next to him saying go. So this change, I read that it came about because John Lewis were working with the organisation Let Clothes Be Clothes, which is similar to the organisation Let Toys Be Toys, and these organisations basically advocate against the heavy gender stereotyping of children's products. And so I think it must have been someone from there that said, "We want children to get the message that it's okay to wear what they want to wear without fear of being told you can't have that, that's for boys, or that's only for girls." And I completely agree. I think that would be a lovely world if we lived in that world. Oh, I think I've got some from the Daily Mail here. So here we go. We've got someone called Toot Toot that says, "Why are people getting so angry? It's not about trying to make girls be like boys and boys be like girls. It's just showing that not all girls want to wear pink and dress like a princess, and not all boys want to wear clothes with diggers and cars on. Girls like dinosaurs too, and boys like unicorns and ponies. Completely agree, Toot Toot. Hashtag not all boys." This comment only has 2 upvotes and 8 downvotes. And then the response says, Actually, it's not about that at all. It's about completely destroying identity, especially male traits. And in contrast, this one has 8 upvotes and 1 downvote, so clearly Daily Mail readers sure do have their heads screwed on absolutely straight. Destroying identity. How is providing people with more choice and ways to express themselves destroying identity? How is letting a girl say, I like dinosaurs with her clothes, or a boy say, I like unicorns with his clothes? How is that destroying their identity? It's the exact opposite. Like, especially male traits. Right, if you genuinely do think things like dinosaurs and diggers and buildings and stuff like that are male traits, then shouldn't your argument be that putting them on girls' clothes and having girls wear them too be that it's encouraging male traits? Again, this just seems so backwards. Just seen that that person is in fact from Canberra, Australia, so it's okay, they're on the southern hemisphere, they're upside down, they are forgiven for being backwards because... lame joke. We've got the lovely input of a Tory now. Tory MP Andrew Brigden said, I have no idea what would possess John Lewis to do this. Boys and girls labels and signs are informative. I think removing them could be very confusing for the customer. I feel like this Tory and that person who desperately wanted to go to the boys section to look for clothes for their son, I feel like they need to get together and provide a support group for people that rely heavily on signs and labels just to navigate life, because clearly they are all in need of help and assistance to stop them from being confused. Good Morning Britain did a segment on this. I didn't watch it, but I heard they did it. And of course they had the lovely Piers Morgan weighing in the gem that he is. And according to him, Good Morning Britain tweeted that political correctness gone completely and utterly insane. Do you agree? And so I've got some of the replies to Good Morning Britain here. You've got one person that says, yes it is. Just let children be who they want to be. The problem is adults. And I do understand this standpoint from a very, very basic perspective. You know, like, gender politics isn't something that kids should be thinking about. Unfortunately, it's just something that does deeply affect them. And then Catherine has replied to that reply saying, that's the point. I loved Star Wars and dinosaurs, but those things were labelled for boys. Let kids choose without pigeonholing them. It is, the point is letting children be who they want to be and not having these rigid roles and pigeonholes forced on them by adults. So you've got, it's really interesting here that you've got two people coming at this from essentially the same angle, but seeing it very different ways. And then we've got another reply to Good Morning Britain saying, I think it's great. Why do so many people think it's madness not to have a label on something to decide if they like it or not? I have a boy and a girl, so this way I don't have to go to girls' PJs then boys' PJs, just PJs. Madness, really? I think more flexible and convenient. Well, good for you. I agree that it is definitely more convenient, and we should all strive for a little bit more practicality. That's the thing, like, it sounds like this woman, given that she previously went to girls' PJs then boys' PJs, this is someone that, you know, you can assume does, you know, give her girls things and her boys things, given the fact that she went to the different pyjama departments. So, you know, she's someone that goes by these stereotypes and is obviously going to cope just fine without the labels. She can determine for herself with her eyes which things are feminine and masculine. So even though I disagree with the you know, assignment of femininity and masculinity to children, like, if you want to do that, then the lack of labels is not gonna stop you. Use your eyes, you know, see which things are pink, and if you desperately think that pink is for girls, then get the pink thing and give it to your girl. Like, you don't need... Just these people that are obsessed with having labels so they know what to do is hilarious to me. Oh yeah, and another thing Piers said, Britain is going officially bonkers. It is Pierce, it is. It's utter madness that people like you have got such a problem with such a simple thing. Here's the thing, you know, you can call me a bonkers, radical, PC, gender-denying leftist all you want. I just don't think that we should be dictating to children what they are and aren't allowed to do and wear based on what genitalia they have. I love this tweet. It says, "The left are too sensitive and offended by everything. John Lewis puts dinosaurs on a dress. This PC bullshit is ruining our country." Just the accuracy, it hurts. It really does. We are nearing the end now, so if you're getting bored, fear not, I'm almost done. But I've never done a video quite like this before in this sort of format, and I'm really enjoying myself. I like this one. 95 thumbs up. My only concern with this is that the dinosaur sweaters don't come in adult sizes because they are cute AF and I want one. Same, Lydia, same. This is a really positive thread. I really like this. It says, "Honestly, I had no idea that dinosaurs were even gendered. What kid doesn't go through a dinosaur's phase? I don't know. I had a whole box of plastic dinosaurs when I was a kid, and now I'm wearing a pink dressing gown with Marie from Aristocats pyjamas and sparkly nail polish. Your kid's gender will survive. Grow up." 111 thumbs up. I love it. A couple of replies to that. "My daughter has loved dinosaurs for as long as I can remember. At least once a week, some excuse for an adult will come up and say something dumb like, 'Oh, I didn't know girls could like dinosaurs.' Or to me, all concerned, 'Is that okay that she likes dinosaurs?' It is ridiculous. I wish these adults would find something better to do with their time besides judging a 4-year-old. Preach! And then, last reply in that thread, "I didn't know until I had kids. Just last week, my 2-year-old little girl was pressing buttons on a dinosaur toy in the supermarket whilst wearing a dinosaur t-shirt, and a little boy told her she couldn't touch it because it was a boy's toy. She also loves rockets, which are apparently also for boys. And what kid doesn't love puppies and kittens, but good luck finding a top with kittens on it in the boys section." So right, like, again, this is what I was saying before about the double standards. The people that are all complaining about this are all the same people that, you know, like, are tired of, you know, gender politics. But if, you know, if little kids saying to each other that they can't touch things because it's for boys or girls, because clearly they've picked that up from adults in the world around them, if that's not gender politics at work in our children, then, not that I have children, but in our society's children, like, you can't just say enough of the politics or the PC-ness, or, you know, you can't just say, "Oh, I'm tired of this discussion on this topic," and then have that just magically be the end of that topic being relevant, because it's not, it's all still afoot. Last one from Amanda says, "I'm a pretty traditional person, but I think this is a good thing. Kids' clothes are probably more gender specific now than they have ever been." I think that's true, actually. I read some really interesting articles on that a while back. It's because capitalism, long story short. Back in the 80s, my mother dressed me and my brother in gender neutral Oshkosh overalls and turtlenecks in primary colours. Buying clothes that could easily be worn by boys or girls saves families money. And that's got 192 thumbs up, which does give me some hope. This person is a self-admitted traditional person, and they have no problem with this. So it's not just the ultra-progressive left-wing PC brigade that are okay with this. And like I said, I've never done a video in this format before, so I don't really know what to do now other than just wrap up. So to sum up, I am a big fan of this move by John Lewis, if that wasn't already abundantly clear. Ever since I was a small child myself, I have always hated, you know, rigid stereotyping and gendering, things like that. It's ridiculous and redundant and restrictive. Alliteration. So, anyway, if you have any thoughts on this, then by all means let me know. I don't mind if you disagree, just please be polite. And if you liked this format of video, of, you know, getting comments and responding to them about a particular thing, then let me know, and I'll definitely do more like it in the future. So thank you so much for watching. My name's Alex, and if you enjoyed this video, please do leave a comment like I said, and subscribe to see more like it in the future. In the meantime, take care, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye! As though all clothes couldn't be worn. To screenshot some comments that I can now read and respond to for your viewing pleasure.